All right, so one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in a car was last year when we went to check out Triple F Collection's Remac's Nevera. It's an electric hypercar. It's got insane acceleration, 0 to 60 in under 1.8 seconds. It's just a mind-boggling car. And so when I heard that they were going to make an even faster, more powerful, more track-capable version of that car, well, I had to come check it out. So this is the Nevera R, and it's not a completely new car from Rimac, but it's essentially taking the formula of the Nevera and dialing it up by 11 in a way that makes it a lot more sensational, a lot more track capable. You can see we've got these Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires here. There's a bunch of stuff that they've changed with this car to just make it even more insane than the already incredible Nevera. So let's dig into it. So the most noticeable change, aesthetically speaking, when you first look at the car is the front end. We've got this Viper nose kind of front end shape going on here. So similar to the standard Nevera, but definitely different, which is something I like. If you're gonna pay, a little bit more for a different version of the car, having it actually look different from the standard car, that's something you can appreciate too. And fun fact, I was told that this whole front end is essentially just one piece of carbon fiber. And so all the way down from right here to the fender, to the bottom, it's all one piece, which is actually crazy. And a common design theme of the car is that a lot of the things that you see here are done in threes. So that's gonna be a theme that we explore a lot through this video, just pointing out different aesthetic elements that are done in threes. So firstly, like these little carbon flicks here, we've got 3. These spokes on the wheels, 3 spokes. The charging indicator light, which is also on the standard Nevera, done in 3. And then even the pillars of the wing are done in 3, but there's a lot more of that we'll get into. So some high level specs of this car. You can now do 0 to 60 in 1.74 seconds, which, I mean, these numbers are just getting out of hand at this point. My brain can't handle all of these fluids being shaken around. I'm also testing the Taycan Turbo GT right now, and it's just, these electric cars are just too much. The car also does 0 to 124 in 4.38 seconds, 62 to 124 in 2.46 seconds, and 0 to 186 in 8.66 seconds, which is a production record for any car, period. No other production car does 0 to 186 as fast as the Nevera R does. Not that it really matters at this point, but horsepower number 2,107, which that's not the craziest jump from the standard Nevera, but I'm sure when you get in this thing and actually drive it, it'll be something you notice. So an aesthetic and functional highlight of the car is this carbon fiber rear wing on the back. It is fixed, so it's not gonna move at all. But with this in combination with the rear diffuser, which is just, this diffuser is just massive, you're getting an additional 15% downforce improvement. And then your overall aerodynamic efficiency is up by 10% compared to the standard Nevera. So all these things you're seeing here, it looks crazy cool and it's awesome aesthetically, but it also is highly, highly functional. The standard Nevera ran Pilot Sport 4S tires, which is already a great set of tires to have on any car. It's such an amazing tire. But now we've got Cup 2s. But what I like about this tire is that this is essentially just an off-the-shelf tire. So if you popped one of these, like drifting in, or you hit a pothole or something like that, you could just order these off of Michelin or Tire Rack or wherever you get tires like these and replace them. It's not like a lot of other crazy cars where if you pop a tire, you have to essentially replace the whole wheel. This car doesn't make you do that. So that's honestly a nice touch. And then inside we have these new carbon ceramic brakes. These are Evo 2 rotors. And one of the big highlights here is that you now have more drills in the rotor, which allows for better cooling, which will allow you to stop as fast as you can start in this thing. We've also got this duct for cooling, just like the standard Nevera, that goes in through the bottom, comes out and over the rear wing in the back. So some more fun facts about the Rimac Nevera R. It can do 217 miles per hour, but if you take it to Rimac and have them unlock some menu settings in here, it can do 256 on a track. So 217 for the road, 256 on a track. This car will also lap the Nardo handling track, which is an extremely technical circuit in Italy with lots of tight hairpins and corners. It'll do that track 3.8 seconds faster than the standard Nevera. And then we also have an improved all-wheel drive torque vectoring system. So one of the coolest things about the standard Nevera is that you have motors on all 4 wheels, which can be independently controlled to allow you to maneuver this car in crazy ways, which allows for the crazy drift mode and all that fun stuff. Makes this an extremely capable handling car and also makes it a super fun electric car. So let's take a look inside, shall we? The doors still go up all the way like that. And then let's see how elegantly I can get in here. Yeah, this is nice. I'm gonna attempt to close the door here. One hand. Oh boy. The door is not like crazy heavy, but it's just like such a big door and kind of unwieldy. But man, the thing that I like about the Nevera in terms of a drivability standpoint is that it's really like a GT sized car. Think like C8 Corvette, Stingray, ZR1, Z06, etc. It's not a super cramped cabin. I feel like for anyone like under 7 feet tall, this should be doable. It is definitely smaller compared to other GTs like the Bentleys and the Aston Martins and etc. But honestly, it's a pretty comfortable cabin, just like the standard Nevera. Taking a look at the inside, everything in here is pretty familiar to the standard car. But one big change, and something that I'm a big fan of, is the fact that you now have body colored interior elements. And so you can have a lot more fun when you customize this thing in their online configurator, or if you go to Croatia and customize it yourself, you can kind of have a bit more fun with the interior elements of the car and make it a bit more poppy with more color. But yeah, I'm definitely getting flashbacks to sitting in the passenger seat while Marquez was playing with these dials and then proceeding to have the fluids in my brain swishing around. So you've got your park, reverse, neutral, drive right here. You have your gauge cluster right here, which, you know, the key is not with me currently because it's not my car. And so right here is where you're going to see, you know, your speed, your basic power stats, etc. Right here, you can change this dial right here to show other things, but you can change your modes: sport, track, drift, which I unfortunately never got to experience that, but as you can see, sends 100% of the power to the rear wheels. So I definitely want to experience that at some point. But other than that, a lot of the basic interior elements are very similar to the standard Nevera. So you have here, you have your different driving profiles. So you can have a bunch in here and seemingly an endless amount of different profiles. You can see we have Mate's profile right here. So the steering wheel just adjusted to however Mate likes to have his driving position set. We have our little secondary display right there, and yeah, there's plenty of clips online of us playing with this in launch control and watching that number go up in a crazy amount of time. Right here is a little mini storage area where you can store 2 phones, just like the standard Nevera. And just like the standard Nevera, we also have our 2 cup holder slots right here, which is pretty trick, and I kind of wish I brought my water bottle with me to be able to test that out. But yeah, not the most amount of storage you can get in a supercar. There are certainly supercars that are more usable. You have our glove box right here, which has a very satisfying opening feel. It's not you know, latched in any way. It just seems like magnet attached with a little pull tab. Probably saves a teeny bit of weight. Also, something I just noticed, there's usually supposed to be a mirror right here. I don't know if this is because this is not a full-blown production model. I'm assuming this is just a working prototype, but I guess for now, if you were hoping to do your makeup in this mirror before having it all blown off after doing a launch control, you can't do that with this prototype, unfortunately. Let's see. Yeah, no mirrors on either sides of this so far, but that could very well be just because this is a prototype and, you know, you don't really need that in a prototype. We have a little camera right here. I'm not quite sure what that camera's for, but it is there. All of these buttons right here are for things like window control, so I can open and close the windows. This is our ride height button, so I can actually raise the height of the car. And then right here, a control button, which then allows me to mess with the basic controls of the car, the steering wheel. So I can hit this button and then alter the seat position. It's gonna move me forward. It's gonna move me back. I can raise the seat if I want. It all works very well. And then we've got just a little audio knob right here, which is, you know, honestly very satisfying. Even though it's not the most sturdy material, it's a very satisfying knob, and I wish more EVs would just have regular volume knobs. That would make my life so much better. Our steering wheel is very supercar-esque in the sense that a lot of your controls are just all on the wheel, and we don't have stalks behind the wheel to control basic things like the turn signals. So that's our turn signals right there. We have our headlight control right here. This is, I'm assuming, like a voice assistant, so I hit that, and apparently that feature is still in development. And then we have our windshield wiper button right here. All practical stuff going on here in the center seating area. And honestly, let's see if I can make this a bit more quiet. I guess it made a different sound, but still not that much more quiet in here. But all this to say, this is a very easy car to get around, just like the standard Nevera. I remember getting in here for the first time. Marquez and I kind of made our way around the car very easily. It wasn't hard to figure things out. And I feel like that is something to be appreciated, because you step in a lot of other crazy cars in this tax bracket, in this price bracket, and you just don't know what you're doing. You just get in here and it's like, where am I right now? This car is very easy, just like a lot of other electric cars strive to be in terms of usability. And I feel like that's something you can definitely appreciate. Another thing that I've been curious about with this car that they've literally said nothing about is the range. Because I mean, yes, it's a hyper car and it's got insane performance. It's not about being a super efficient car, but look at that. So that is about 170-ish miles at 70%. So that's almost as good as like the Lexus RZ 450e that we just reviewed on the channel. If you've seen that video, that car has, you know, like 300 horsepower and nearly the same amount of range. So realistically, you're probably looking at what, like 200, 250 on a full charge, something like that. So obviously not a crazy number, but you know, that's not what this car is about. And actually, something to note is that we now have a smaller battery pack in this car. So the standard Nevera has an 120 kilowatt hour battery pack. We've now got an 108 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is smaller. And so you might think, oh, this car is a downgrade in terms of the overall battery size. But the battery is now smaller, lighter, and because of a lot of molecular changes within that battery pack, it's more efficient, and you're able to draw the same amount of power and essentially get the same amount of real world range in this car as the standard Nevera. And so Rimac is just constantly innovating with battery technology, which is why, you know, a lot of manufacturers don't advertise this, but a lot of battery technology used in new EVs is being sourced from Rimac. All right, let's see if I can get out of here with one hand. Okay, I did it. I did it. Talking more about the theme of everything being done in threes here. So look, right? Our stitching. 3 stitch patterns right here. 3 stitch patterns right there. 3 stitch patterns right here as well. And then we have more 3 stitch patterns right here, right there, right there. Everything is done in threes in this car from a design standpoint. Some people may want to know, how practical is the new Nevera, especially compared to the standard car? Well, this is essentially all of your luggage space right here, but these are actually 3 custom luggage pieces that are with the car. So when you buy this car, you get these custom luggage pieces. They're actually very lightweight. So if I take that out, you can see kind of the general depth of the storage area in here. So I don't know exactly how much different it is to the standard Nevera, but it looks pretty much one-to-one. So you could fit like a small suitcase in here, like a duffel bag, backpack, something like that. It's not too bad. And then we close it, it's soft close, which is very nice. And then you'll see we have these super sick, kind of like glowing, fluctuating LEDs right here. This is one of my favorite design elements of the car, quite honestly. And then right here, you have your charging port. So you hit that switch right there. And then this carbon fiber flap, which probably costs more than my car, opens up right here to reveal your charging port, which, you know, this is a great place to have one in a supercar like this. You can close it like that. Has a nice, oh, I like that. I like that sound. That's very satisfying, that sound. And then as you can see, we still have the carbon monocoque chassis, which, you know, makes this car super rigid and makes it great in terms of handling, but it's also the single biggest piece of carbon fiber used in a production car today, the singular monocoque chassis. I'll include a picture to show what this car looks like without all of the shell components on. Just gonna close this door right here. That is such a big door, man. Wow. This car is something else. So we are looking at 40 units worldwide for Nevera R. I believe pricing starts around $2.3 million for this car compared to $2 for the standard Nevera. And I guess for a lot of people, this isn't going to really change how they feel about the Nevera. For people who aren't interested in an electric hypercar or electric supercar, this probably won't do anything more for you. But if you haven't tried one of these and have an opportunity to try it, then I mean, based on my experience, I would recommend it. I was talking to the team about this car and just kind of going over how the sales for this car weren't stellar compared to other hypercars like the Bugatti Tourbillon, for example, which was essentially sold out before the car was even announced. You can still actually get one of these Neveras today. And so I think that's just a reflection of the fact that the whole electric supercar, hypercar thing, it's still very new. You know, think about cars like the Lexus LFA or the Carrera GT that, you know, when they were first announced, they weren't like major commercial successes. And then later in their lives had, you know, their values are insane. Like Lexus LFAs, that was like barely a $500,000 car. Now that car's doubled in value. Same thing with the Carrera GT. Those cars sell for like $1.5 million now. And so I guess really only time will tell how the automotive world will kind of reflect upon the Nevera and what it's done, because it really is the first of its kind in this segment in the car world. And so I guess I'm just hoping I can actually drive this thing at some point. We got to experience the standard Nevera last year, and hopefully some way, somehow we can check this one out too, because it only sounds even crazier and more fun to drive. But that's going to be about it for this one. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe for more car videos like this. We've got a lot more stuff coming up this August. And yeah, thanks to Rimac for letting me check this out. Alrighty, talk to you guys in the next one.